Good morning, and welcome back to the JagCorner. Thanks for being here for whoever's here. Lee told me he won't be able to make it, but he did share it out to the Atari Jaguar fans Facebook group. I actually haven't been by there in a while. I need to go check it out. I should probably be making that post myself, but thanks, Lee. Thanks for doing that for me. If it's your first time here, my name is Will Thorup. I'm an artist and developer for BitJag, which is just our developer name under JagCorner. Here at the JagCorner, we talk about Atari. We talk about developing games for the Jaguar. We talk about retro gaming stuff. So if you want to chat about anything, just let me know. Just shout out in the chat, and I'll try to keep an eye on that. I'm still a little bit under the weather. I actually felt great yesterday. I've had bronchitis for about a week now, and it's just mild, and everybody around me has been getting it. Everybody in the family, all my friends, even strangers. Strangers meaning one step away from me that friends and family know. And it just seems to be going around everywhere. Anyways, felt great yesterday. Woke up this morning, and it's obviously gone bacterial, like it's turning into an infection. And so hopefully I'll be okay talking here. I should be fine. I got some water, and yeah. So I feel a little bit disheveled this morning, but I think we'll be fine. Today we're going to be doing some painting, just working on some sprites. We're still working on that mini game that we did last time. Hopefully this episode will be a little bit more interesting. There will be a lot less programming this time around, and yeah. Let me know if the audio's bad or if something needs to be adjusted. It looks like my levels are fine, so should be okay. Yeah, but before we get to that, there is a little bit of news that I should be covering. I probably should have covered it a while ago. A few weeks ago, but that is, let me switch over to the browser tab. It's not the Lynx Dev website. I was going to get to that, but it is the Lynx Jam 2021. So for the last couple years, I think Atari Gamer, and I think a few other people, Kairi on Atari Age. I know he's heavily involved in the Atari Lynx stuff. Anyways, they put on this Lynx Jam every year, and I know the previous years were really, really good. In fact, let me see if I can bring those up really quick. Lynx Jam 2020. And Atari Gamer has a pretty nice website for this too. Yeah, so Lynxmas 2020. So it was Christmas themed or holiday themed. And that had quite a few submissions. Looks like they had 7 submissions there. And they released some of these, I believe. Yeah, so Atari Gamer actually has released some of these on cartridge. I know this one for sure. This one, and this one are all available in physical form at AtariGamer.com, I believe is his website. Anyways, I can't remember. It seemed like they did Lynx Jam 21. Let's see here. Epic Mega Jam, Laser Links. Gosh, it seems like they did one in 2019 as well, but I don't remember. It seems like I did the artwork for the 2019 one, but anyways, yeah. So there were 6 submissions this year, and I've been able to play all of them except for Crow and Banana Ghost. I was having some difficulty getting those working in an emulator for some reason. I need to just boot it up. I was trying to boot it up through RetroArch, and they only have 2 emulators available there, and it should work in all of them. And it's possible I just downloaded the wrong image of the game. I'm not sure. I need to be more thorough. Oh, I haven't played Zap either, so I've only played... Yeah, I've played Sorrow, played Black Pit, I played Bathman. Gosh, did I play Crow? I don't think I did. And that's the one that looked most interesting to me. Maybe we'll do a stream on this. not this week. Well, maybe this week. We'll see. Maybe I'll do this right before Christmas. So next week, sometimes we'll we'll go through all these as kind of a celebration. Maybe I'll do an extra stream next week, and just play a few minutes of each game. But the Crow one looks really, like, the art looks incredible in this one. And I assume they're doing kind of a mode 7 thing down here in the bottom half of the screen, bottom third of the screen. Anyways, if you get a chance, go and play these games. I believe you can actually vote on them. Let's see here. Ready? A jam submission report. You can at least leave a comment. Here, let's check really quick. Atari Gamer. See 2021. This probably, yeah, this just takes us back to here. So I don't think it's a competition. I think it was just they were doing entry. So when you must. We're not restricting you to any genres. Once the game jam starts, there'll be a link at the top of the page to submit your entry, please. Okay. Discussion. We've created discussion forum threads so you can talk about this game jam, ask any questions, and post preview screenshots of your game. The thread can be found here. So it looks like brought to you by Atari Gamer and Argon. So Yatsuna Games. So they've released quite a few games recently. I've purchased a few of their games to just show support. I actually don't play a whole lot of Lynx nowadays, but I've been thinking about. I have one Lynx with the McWill LCD mod. It does not have the VGA output adapter soldered in though, and I've been thinking about soldering that in so I can stream on hardware Atari Lynx games. So yeah, so some good people putting that jam together. There's been some good entries to the jam. One day maybe I'll do one of these. I have dabbled in Atari Lynx programming, so I know I can do it in Linux and all that jazz. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if the future brings some Atari Lynx games. I have planned out a few games in the past, but plans mean nothing if you don't actually work on anything. 1 second. Just making sure no one's texting me here. Okay, we're fine. This stream may be a little bit shorter today, but we'll see. So, we hop over to our graphics. So today, we are working on the physical and the digital interface for the back of the robot character in Crescent Memories. So I actually have a good foundation here for the framing of the screen. Let me get my glove on here. I need a drink too. So I got a good start on the frame. And what I wanted to focus on today is I have a logo for this program that the player will use to try to fix their robot. In fact, I'm going to open up a document here because I actually wrote out mechanics and everything. Give me just a second. Got a drawing glove I put on. Keeps my monitor clean. If anybody's watching, please shout out in the chat. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find that document really quick. Open recent. Yeah, right there. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where are you? There. Okay, so do I want to... Okay, so Cat 5 is the robot, and the reason why the robot's important in the game is because he repairs the transponder. So right now, all it is you navigate to the robot and you click repair transponder. That's it. It's pretty shallow gameplay, and so I wanted to give that gameplay a little more depth. So what I did is I had built a mini game for another client. I was actually commissioned to do it, which is really cool, and it was developed for the Jag. They were using it at some sort of conference, and they were just running it through an emulator with the controller. But from what I've heard, I wish I had footage of this because I'd show it if I had footage. But from what I've heard, it went really, really well, and people enjoyed the game. So, and maybe we'll build the program and I'll show that where it is, because in fact I will. In fact, let's show that right now. Jump over to Kate here. Put that right there. Okay, let me go and let's build it really quick. Trying to keep an eye on OBS here, making sure, yeah, it looks like everything's coming up. Good. See if I can, yep, defragmentor. Because I realized the last stream that one of my windows was covering up the emulator, so nobody could actually see it. But this is where we got to last time, is we were just kind of repainting some graphics and making sure that it worked inside of the main inside the state machine for Crescent Memories. So this is actually going to change dramatically based on at least visually it's going to change dramatically based on our framing for the interface now. So let me switch back over to that. So if you take a look, all the game is going to take place inside of here, and so I'm going to have to shrink the assets, which I think it's going to be okay anyways. I think it's going to be more charming than what we have now. What we have right now is it works, but it doesn't look very good. Also, I want this to kind of be a place to build in some Easter eggs, references to other games, and so I'm going to. We're going to have, oh yeah, I was going to go back. Let's read this. So Cat 5 is disabled at the beginning, so he's unable to repair the transponder until his operating system kernel is restored. In order to restore him back to full operating capacity, the player must run a BIOS recovery option called Acid Burn's Hack and Fix. And if you know that reference for Acid Burn, please let me know. How much time the player can spend playing the minigame depends on how much the sunlight the robot's solar cells have received. So you can't. So when you start the game, you won't be able to immediately use him. You'll have to wait a few days for his solar cells to recharge, and then you can use this recovery program. The minigame consists of dropping a mechanism at the top of the screen, which slots. Scroll. I haven't done a second pass on this document, so the writing might be terrible. With slots from left to right at the bottom of the screen, which are scrolling. A piece of data of a specific color feeds into the dropping mechanism. The player must drop this data into an open slot of matching color below. So right now, there's no color matching going on, but that will be a mechanic we'll add in the graphics and in code. Each successful drop will repair the fragmented data. So the idea is there's inside of Cat 5, there's this baseline recovery program that's flashed to a chip or something like that, and what it does is on boot time it detects whether Cat 5 is his operating system is not working correctly, and so this recovery program will basically, the BIOS will load up and you'll get a few options and you can run this this recovery program. And so we're going to have a BIOS selection screen. We will be designing that. We probably won't be doing that on this stream, but we'll see. But yeah, you'll select a few options there, and maybe there's a couple other things you can do. There's a boot option or something, and but you can run this program. Get into the program, you run it, and you're repairing the operating system's kernel code or whatever. It's kind of surface level. I don't want to get too deep into the into the weeds, into the details of this. If the player drops the data and it collides with existing data or is dropped into a slot of the wrong color, this will damage the existing data. This damage is tracked and will need to be repaired before the next time the player runs the BIOS recovery or after a round of the minigame. So you can damage the data, and that counts against you, basically. If you think of it as a point system, you have to earn a certain amount of points, but you can also go into the negative by damaging existing data. And then there's a battery meter that is used as a timer. So your solar cells will feed into this battery meter. It will indicate a percentage as well. The player must stop the minigame manually before the battery runs out. Otherwise, all repairs are lost and any damage done to existing data remains. And so it's going to be up to the player to stop the minigame in order to run some post recovery options. So if the player stops the minigame before excuse me, before the battery runs out, a report of how many repairs and damages is listed. So this is that post repair thing. 1 second. You'll see how I'll be able to go here with my throat as it is. The player will have the option to expend extra energy to automatically repair damages that they may have made during the minigame. These damages will carry over otherwise. So your battery is basically a point, a collection of points that you can spend to repair things that you damaged earlier. And you use it for the minigame to run the minigame to eventually do 100% recovery. So that's what the percentage is for. I don't know how long I'm gonna last here, guys. We'll see. At this point, if enough repairs are done, there will be a final screen with a big reboot option to activate Cat 5. A short dialogue sequence will occur, then a return to the main gameplay screen. The options available to Cat 5 will change to how they are now. And so this is a phase of, so you have 64 days to repair the transponder basically, and you have to keep your guys alive. So with Cat 5, this will be a phase, and my guess it will be about, depending on how good the player is at the minigame, it'll be about 16 days, I'm thinking. And the idea behind this is to kind of catch the player in the first few days to get them invested in the game, so they'll push through the whole 64 days, because it gets hard. Like, the game gets difficult, and that's the idea. Is it's supposed to be you're supposed to get by just barely by the end of the 64 days, and so I'm hoping that having this mini game along with one other that I'm planning on doing, or just expanding out resource collection, that will be enough to catch the player within the first few days and keep them interested, at least for one playthrough. Hopefully multiple playthroughs, because there is a random element to the game. Anyways, I know you guys didn't get to see that document. I don't want you to see the whole document yet. There's still some things I'm working out in that. So, but what I wanted to show you is I have another layer here. You'll see I have this logo, and this is kind of what I wanted to work on today. It's Acid Burn from Hackers. If you've seen that movie, that's the reference, by the way. So she programmed this recovery tool for Cat 5. So, anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna do a new layer here, and I need our palette. Let's do a green. I am not 100% sure how many colors I'm going to have in the interface. I do want to keep it reduced color. I want it to kind of feel like a late 1980s, like early DOS. Not early DOS, like, let's see here, DOS came out, what, the early 80s? Maybe a little bit sooner. And so I'm thinking mid 80s to late 80s, like CGA or even 16 color. Graphics, so maybe that's what I should do. I should stick to 16 colors. I don't know. I almost want to keep it like CGA level graphics, but let's see here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to quickly trace kind of our line art here for Acid Burn. See here, I think her real name in the movie is, what is it? I think it's Kate Libby, if I remember right, something like that. It's Angelina Jolie, one of her first roles, I believe, at least Hollywood roles. let's see here. I don't want that to go further down like that. Looks like a mess right now. It'll look better here in a moment. I'm going to trace in our main elements, and then I'll get rid of this sketch that I did. Let's see here. Well, if anybody's on the stream, let me know how your weekend was. Mine, we had another family party. This time Christmas. It seems like Thanksgiving was yesterday. It's kind of nice having family parties, though. After our year and a half of lockdown, almost 2 years of lockdown now. It's nice to get together with family. There we go. Looks like everything's going fine. And I am praying that the stream goes well, because I'm also recording. Gosh, something doesn't seem right. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm also recording. I'm doing a desktop recording for this, for a time lapse. So I've already recorded everything up to this point, so I don't want to miss out on the rest of that. But it is recording, and it seems like everything's streaming. Let me double check that. Yep, looks like we're good there. Good. Okay. Totally not a duct tape production. I got a little problem here. I actually need to do the whole sprite, and it cuts off here up at the top. We'll worry about that a little bit later. Oh, good curves with this many pixels is art in and of itself. There's no way that this is going to be perfect right now. We're going to have to go in and touch this up later. Okay, I think that's our main elements. Might zoom in here. Do her eyes. And yeah, we'll do her eyes. Her nose. Maybe part of her mouth. We're going to have to simplify this later. It's not going to look good to start with, but work it out. Angelina Jolie has these crazy eyebrows too. We're going to have to experiment with that shape. Thing is about pixel art is when you're going from, so I did a large sketch of this first, and sometimes things translate well, sometimes they don't. And so we're gonna see how well things translated from the big sketch here. See, like this little wisp of hair is probably not going to look that good. but we are going to try to get it to look good because I think it it's a good idea. But whether that idea works with pixel art, I don't know. Yeah. Super Mario old version. Can you also do Super Mario? Well, that's what I'm doing here, Shooting. Thanks for joining the stream, by the way. It's good to see you. So let me. I might break away since you may be the only one on the stream right now. Here, let me finish tracing this, and then I'll show you what I'm working on. Let me get these in really quick. Yeah, and we'll do that text later. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, let me show you the game I'm working on right now. Because you mentioned Super Mario, and it's very much like Super Mario. Oh yeah, put that right there. So this is the title screen, and the game we're working on. Let me get into it here. This is actually a compilation, so it's a group of 3 games. One game is one I released back in 2016, and another one. The other 2 are brand new games. I'll just show you this one. But so it's what I call a menu-driven survival game. So it's really old school that way. But the goal is you're stuck on this planet, and you just have to survive for a certain amount of days. And so you have to collect food, you have to make bullets and collect food, and then this machine, and I don't know if you can see my cursor, this machine right here, you have to fix that before the end of the 64 days. So the ship that is coming, the spaceship that is coming to rescue you, can find you. But you have these certain tasks, and so like this one, you make bullets, and then you go and you hunt and you collect food. And right now it's all numbers driven. I'm thinking about expanding that a little bit. Oh, and it crashed. That's not good. Something I did over the weekend was I have an engine for functions that control all my text, and I did a big update to that, and there's probably just some sort of memory overflow with that, because the way it handles text is quite a bit different now, and it took me 8 hours to update the text engine. It took quite a while to go through all the games and update all the functions, and so there's still a crash there. In fact, I am going to let me switch back over to the graphics, and I'm going to write a note here that it's crashing on it. We'll be watching crash when collecting. I'm actually pretty sure what the bug is and why it's crashing, but I don't want to focus on that for this stream. But yeah, so yeah, I'm doing kind of it looks like they call that a 16-bit game, so something that you would have seen back in the early 1990s. So yeah. Okay, so we have this traced. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it down. Oh, whoops. Move. Because I want our sprite is actually going to be a lot bigger than this. I'm going to have it when it starts, it'll transition from the bottom of the screen, and so I need it to be this full flame shape that we're doing here. Let's see if I can. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Maybe something like that. I may make this a bit smaller. Hell no. I think we're going to keep it. I kind of like it big like this. Kind of reminds me, there's another game that came out, well, not recently, but let's see here. I want to make sure my options are set up correctly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fill these in. Something like that. Yeah, no problem. It's kind of weird doing these streams because you get new people that come in, and because they haven't seen the other streams, they really have no idea what's going on. And so it can be a little bit disorienting. So yeah, no problem. I am happy to show the game. I don't want to spoil too much of it before it's released, but doing these streams, it's kind of hard to avoid that too. There we go. That looks better. Just refining this shape a little bit. We need to move this. What is my lasso? It's F. Get this removed. Oh. Turn those off. Move this over like that. Yeah, I think adding these mini games though are gonna really help out. Like, I've had people play test the game a little bit here locally, just family and friends, and they tell me that the game's enjoyable, but it's hard to trust feedback from family and friends in regards to something creative. You have to be careful with that feedback, because you don't know if they're just trying to make you feel good or not. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes it's not exactly what you need at the time. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look too bad, does it? Kind of want to. We may just avoid that one. Do something like that. She has this very short hairstyle, which is actually translating pretty good right now to pixel art. Man, we may do just 1-bit graphics on this. It might just be green and black. How would that work? It wouldn't look as good as in gameplay, so maybe not. I don't know. I'm just wondering if we might be able to do something so when you select the option here, it brings up this title logo, and then we do a flicker or something on the screen that indicates a graphics change, and so we go into a more colorful environment. That might be fun. I don't know yet though. I do kind of like this old green terminal look though. Really? I know in fact, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. So I don't know about the Atari Jaguar, the game I'm programming this for. but the Atari ST, which was a computer that Atari worked on before the Jag and during the Jag's life. Well, really before the Jag. They were kind of doing stuff with the ST beforehand. But the factories for the Atari ST, for some of them at least, were in Taiwan, in northern Taiwan, in Danshui. And the reason why I know this is because somebody in the forums on AtariAge.com, he married somebody in Taiwan whose mother worked in those factories back in the mid to late 80s, I believe. Now, I doubt that those factories are still there. When I was in Danshui, I don't recall seeing any factories in Danshui. It was kind of a tourist trap. At least it seemed that way when I went there. I went there 2 or 3 times while I was in Taiwan. But yeah, I wanted to, something I've been meaning to talk to you about. Because what I would like to do, this book that I'm writing, it'd be cool to find somebody who actually worked in those factories, or had a family member that worked in those families. Because I would like to write a short story about a child visiting the factory. And I want it to be, it'll be fiction at the end of the day, so it won't be a real story, but I want it to be based on a real experience if I can if I can wrangle that, if I can find somebody who's willing to share a story and let me use parts of it. Anyways, so a little bit of history about Atari. They were, as far as I know, a lot of their STs were actually made in Taiwan. So, how does that hand look? It looks okay. It could look better. Don't know. Yeah, I what kind of story? So, like I was saying, the story, my story, the story I want to write, and all I've thought of so far is I want to have a little boy or a little girl. They're going home from school and they're stopping off at the factory where their parent is working. What I don't know is if that's realistic on any level. So I don't know if it was possible for a child to go and visit, or maybe it's as simple as the kid is coming home from school and it happens to be at the same time their parent is getting off at work at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. In the evening. Because I know kids in Taiwan sometimes they go to school for long hours, and so what I was thinking is when thanks One Bite Cake, I'll try to fix that thumb. So what I'm thinking is they'll stop by the factory and they'll see their parent, and maybe they'll say, "Hey, can I see what you do on the factory floor?" And maybe they own the factory. Maybe that's how I get around it, is the parent owns the factory, and so they're able to take their kid and kind of show them around the factory floor. And I want it to be a really short story, like a page or two, where the kid just kind of has this almost like a Disneyland experience, but at this factory, seeing all these computer parts, seeing all the microchips and everything being soldered to circuit boards and stuff like that, and be very artistic about it. But I want to see if it's even possible to see if that is realistic on any level. But I need to find somebody who actually worked in those factories to do that. But yeah, I kind of like a chocolate factory, but for computers. So yeah, this thumb that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so like I was saying, there is somebody. I do have one contact he's mentioned, and I'm trying to remember if I believe I sent him a message a while ago about it. But I can't remember if the conversation went anywhere. But I was going to touch bases with the individual that brought up that they were that they live in Taiwan and that they or had lived in Taiwan, and their wife's mother had worked in one of these factories. So and see if I can get at least a digital interview or something with somebody if they still live in Danshui. I don't know if they still live there, but it'd be really cool to do that. Hmm. Uh, it's 68,000 degrees. Yeah, and the way they generate that heat is with Motorola's 68,000 processors. That would be impressive. Impressive. This is I don't know. Maybe I should do full color on this. I don't know. That line might be too confusing unless we fill it like that. Oh, no, like this. No, I don't like that. Undo. Undo. Like that. Man, this went a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Thought it would take, actually. I mean, I could sit here and polish it for a long time, but I kind of want to rough things in before I spend a whole lot more time on it. Something I wanted to try here is with these little flames. Doing... So, Jake... Sorry, One Bite Cake. Sorry, One Bite Cake is a family member. You've actually seen him before on the stream, so I'm not too worried about using his name. But this is so with Cat 5, the robot. That's the robot's name now. Is before you can start repairing the transponder, you have to recover the boot kernel for his software, so he can actually do things. And so what's going to happen is you'll boot up his interface here. That's what the outer frame is for. You have a button for the game and the D-pad over here, and you have your serial port here and an on switch. I actually need to rework this because I totally forgot I need a battery indicator and a percentage indicator of some sort. But this is the boot screen for the recovery program, which is the mini game. And it's called Acid Burn's I can't remember, Hack and Fix. I may change the name, but it's a hacker's reference. So Acid Burn, which is Angelina Jolie from Hackers, she's the one that supposedly programmed this this interface. So that's what you're looking at here. So this is just the boot logo for that recovery program. I don't know if this is going to look good. Nah, I don't like that. What we could do is maybe invert it. Maybe do something like this. Kind of looks fun, doesn't it? Acid burn. Yeah, I was thinking, so since I'm putting a lot of time into this interface, what I'm thinking about is when you first boot it up, gosh, these people, Donald Montgomery and Sandra Fisher, I think you guys are spam. If you're not spam, let me know. Watch, they're going to troll me now. Yeah, so I figured since I'm building out this really nice interface, what I'm thinking is when you first start, there will be a list, kind of something that looks like an old BIOS screen, and it will have the recovery thing, but there will be a few other options that show kind of the specs for Cat 5. So I'm planning on doing some Easter eggs there, in like the different BIOS screens, like the screen that shows your hard drives, the one that shows your CPU and stuff like that. So there will be some Easter eggs. And so I'm like, let's go ahead and do some hackers Easter eggs here. They're programmers. They can be in this universe. Why not? I like that, but those are kind of fun, huh? Cool. You know, doing this green interface might be cool with because it's Acid Burn's face. Now I know what the Jaguar is. I played the Super Nintendo back in the 1990s. Japanese video games were very popular in Taiwan. That's awesome. You know, when I was there and when I would ask people about video games, it seemed like, you know, a lot of these were older people now that I'm thinking about it. There was a guy in Yongha when I was there who was, he had played games, but he knew about Mario, but he didn't know what Zelda was, which I would have thought that would have been really popular over here because that was huge, or in Taiwan, because that was huge. In Japan as well. Still is. But yeah, I grew up playing some Super Nintendo. I don't have as much nostalgia for the Super Nintendo. I have more nostalgia for Nintendo's first system, the NES. We had one of those in the house, but I did play some Sega Genesis as well. So played a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog. I've never been a huge Super Mario fan. Like, they're good games, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy them, but I really think it's just platformers. I've had a hard time really latching on to certain platformers. There have been some platformers I've liked, but Mario's never been one of those. But so, for anybody on the stream, I am streaming tomorrow as well, and I'm not doing painting. I'm not programming. I am tomorrow. I'm actually going to be playing a game, and it is a homebrew game called The Abyss, and it's a submarine game. So If you like submarine games, you may enjoy this. Metal Warrior. So they actually re-released Metal Warrior not too long ago. I believe Limited Run Games, they did a physical release of Metal Warrior. A lot of people were complaining about how it was so expensive, and so they were able to snag up the license with whoever owns that and do it again. Released it again. It's a really fun game. And I thought about getting a copy, but I don't, except for Atari stuff, I don't collect for other systems anymore, and so unless I have nostalgia for it. So maybe I should get a copy for you, Jake, so you can have a little bit of a nostalgia fix. Shooting, did you ever play Zelda or Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo? I believe. Oh, I can't remember how to say Zelda, but Final Fantasy's. I think it's 太空战士, if I remember right. Oh, I might have to go find a copy then for you. One bite cake. It is a fun game, though. I was playing it on an emulator earlier this year. I would have really enjoyed that as a kid, but I feel like I need to do something for the inside of this. You know what I need to do? No, I kind of like the outline we have going on. Almost need to invert. I need to invert her skin tone. That'll look a lot better. So what we're going to do is I'm going to lasso this. Just her facial features. We're going to put that on a new layer because what we're going to do is fill in her face. Why didn't that work? Oh, we're not closed. Right there, and there, and there. I think what we're gonna do is fill in her face here. Yeah, that is definitely the name. Yeah, and I don't think it seemed like when I was there back in 2000, what was that, 2008, 2009, everybody I talked to, they had no idea what it was, which was really surprising to me too, because I had people there tell me that, yeah, anything in Japan that was popular in Taiwan as well. And Final Fantasy is huge in Japan. And so I was a little surprised that nobody knew about it. When I was in Taiwan, even the newer ones, nobody knew about it. It must be something that people in Taiwan don't latch onto as much. It's what they called an RPG, and I don't know how to say that in Chinese, in Mandarin. I should have learned all those terms. It was turn-based. I have no idea how to say that in Mandarin either. See, I think we need to fix the shape of her head here now that we're inverting it. It feels strange. Let's do this. Let's get her facial features in there first. Alpha to selection, and we're going to delete those like that. So we got her face back in there. Chin is too big. That feels a bit better. This needs to change now. Come on. There we go. This is kind of nice because it gives us a nice contrast with her hair. I think it's going to look better at the end of the day. But yeah, Final Fantasy, you probably don't play games anymore, shooting, but if you do have a Super Nintendo still, a really good Final Fantasy game to play is Final Fantasy VI. It is really good. Some would argue the best game on the Super Nintendo. That's not going to work. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I prefer that two-tone going on with the contrasting her face with the rest of it. Not sure how that's going to look here with the hand. We'll give it a try though. We're going to have to rebuild her fingers. Let's see here. That's fine. Oh, was there a sequel on the Super Nintendo for Metal Warriors? I wouldn't be surprised. Because isn't Metal Warriors a LucasArts game? Or did they do that? So they are. There's the newer Final Fantasy games on PlayStation 4. They are re-releasing the older games. They're called. It's their Pixel Perfect series. I think that's what they're calling it now. Metal Warriors is number 1. Yes, it is. It's pretty good. Arguably. I might need to backtrack on these fingers here. Get something that looks good. Because they've been remastering some the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies and some of the earlier ones. Well, all the earlier ones. So they're still 2D and they're still pixel art, but they have a new coat of paint, so to say, and the music's been updated on some of them. But they're so you might be able to get those on PS4. I know for sure you can play those on the computer through Steam. But again, I don't know if it's your type of game either. RPGs, they take a lot of time, and so I know for a lot of people that can be a turnoff. Oh, we had such a good shape for that finger, and now it's gone. That's a little bit better. Kind of like the suggestion of fingers there. Feels better. Something like that. Yeah, that's not bad. Yes, role-playing game. With Final Fantasy, with the older Final Fantasy games, though, it was turn-based, and so you take turns. Your characters are in battle against a monster or something, and you take a turn, and then the monster takes a turn, and it goes back and forth until either you or the monster dies. So the newer Final Fantasy games, they don't do the turn based. They're all real time role playing games now. What's that in Chinese? Role playing game. Seems like I knew that at one point, but it's long gone now. What if we do a cuff? Interesting. I kind of like that two-tone look we got going on. I was originally planning on doing this full color, but now I'm thinking maybe we'll do this black and white like this, or black and green. Oh, I'm gonna mess this up. Yongse Fun Boy Yoshi. Oh, I don't know that one. Is it Yoshi? Oh yeah, that's Yoshi. It's game. Oh, 角色. Oh, Fun Boy. Is that Fun Boy? I think it's Fun Boy. Or is it Yan Boy? Because 角色 is a role. Then something Boy. I know that has to do with performance and stuff like that. And then Yoshi is just game. Yeah, I don't know the third character. 角色. Haven't used that word in a long time. Not bad. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? At least I think it looks good. 角色扮演. Oh, yen, not bo. Kind of looks like a broadcast. The word is broadcast, but yeah, 扮演. I don't know what that 扮演 means. Well, that yen is like a performance, right? But I don't know 扮. Yoshi. Jiaose. Okay, that sounds a little more. See, I've read Jiaose, I think, on Google Translate, and that never worked for me. But jiao, that jiao is the same. It's your foot, right? I'm pretty sure it's that same character. I don't understand why foot color means like a performance or a role. But it's okay. It makes sense, I'm sure. I just haven't learned it. I think we're going to do a little bit of a curl in the back like that. It's kind of fun. So, 角色扮演游戏. Yeah. There was one person on the mission who was he would always talk to me about games and toys, which was really distracting most of the time. But I would hear a lot of these words, and I learned a lot from him, but I haven't talked about it for almost a decade now, for 10 years, and so a lot of those words are gone. I think we do need one more here. I need to push it out more, though. Like that. Yes, I do. Do you play World of Warcraft? I was talking to somebody just the other evening about World of Warcraft. I know what it is. I don't play it. I don't play they call them MMO RPGs. I don't get into those. I just don't have the time. But I know other people really enjoy them. Oh yeah, I like her hair. It's looking pretty good. What happens if we do this like that? Yeah, with the internet cafes in Taiwan, it was kind of sad to see how many teenagers are in there wasting their time on. A lot of them were playing World of Warcraft, but when I was there, StarCraft 2 came out, and same company. It's basically the science fiction version of World of Warcraft, and and everybody was wasting all their time on that. So I've actually been wanting to go try or not World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, but haven't haven't wanted to haven't wanted to spend the time yet. So, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I really like how this is coming out. And I'm probably going to cut the stream short. My throat is killing me right now. Here, before we end the stream, I'm going to bump this up. We're going to do the title here really quick. I got to move it up just a little bit more, line it back up. Yeah. And I don't know if I want this text to be kind of hand-drawn looked. I was thinking it might look cool being kind of like something a hacker would scribble down on their notes of code and memory addresses and stuff like that. So we're going to try that. We're going to keep it really loose to begin with. And we're probably going to exaggerate it a little bit here once I get it traced out. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. I think. Yep. Oh, please go back. Please go back. Yep. Got to start over. Messed up. Try it again. There we go. Feel like that needs to be further apart. Acid. Burn. Yeah, World of Warcraft is huge. I know online RPGs are, I don't want to say they're bigger than the United States, but it seemed they were more publicly advertised in Taiwan. I remember there were billboards for all sorts of online RPGs or MMO RPGs while I was there. A lot of Korean ones. Tons of cheap Korean online RPGs. I say cheap because they look cheap, but maybe they weren't. People seem to be enjoying them.魔语世界 isn't Dark World. Well, that year is the same um, same year that's used for Hell, right? So Dark and that Mo. Oh no, that Mo is Mogoi to Mo. Um, I don't know what game that is. Is that World of Warcraft in Chinese? I believe that's Mo, isn't it? Mo year. Mo shou. Ah. 世界. I do not know what that show means, but魔兽世界. World of Warcraft. It looks familiar, so I probably saw it at the Wonkas all the time. But okay. Oh, that's kind of fun. I like how that looks. We need to work on acid here a little bit. Feel like we need to give it, because burns is really big. Feel like we need to make it just a little bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna work a little far away. I'm gonna be acid, like that. Make it chunky. Ah, look at that. We just need to center it up a little bit. Let's see here. Acid burn is almost in the right place already. So like that. Yeah, that looks good. That's kind of fun. I'll clean that up later. I'm not. It needs more work, but it looks good as it is. This can go like that. Have a better angle right there. Cool. 魔兽世界. Cool. Acid burns hack and fix. And I'll probably do some more fun stuff with that. One other thing I wanted to add to this. I wanted little ones and zeros to be coming off of her finger. Let's see here. Let's do long ones. What I should do is duplicate these, but that's okay. We'll do that. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Maybe we'll copy these in a few places. I want them just floating up like this. And I may remove these later because I'll do an animation of these instead of having them be static. Oh, there we go. And I'm quickly doing these so it won't look as good as it probably should. But it'll look good enough if we do stuff with something like that. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that I'm going to call it a day on this for now. I think what we have is it's looking better than I thought it would. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this just 1-bit color. Fix this logo up on her shirt. Tricky. That's not bad. We may fix that a little bit more too. She's wearing I believe it's a Speedo, a wetsuit, just a half wetsuit in her outfit, and then she's wearing that Suzuki motorcycle jacket in the movie. So, anyways, I think we're gonna call it good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I might do next week. I haven't thought that far ahead on the programming end. I'm hoping to get some more time in this week. And so I'll have this interface actually start programming this interface. So we'll probably do a little bit of code next time is my guess. I want to get the graphics done here for the interface and for the gameplay. I want to rework the gameplay. We have to make everything smaller in the gameplay to fit inside this screen. This square here. And so I'm going to try to get those graphics at least put together. That way, next time we can spend some time actually doing some code and implementing graphics, so we can go from a blank screen to graphics. I kind of want to show that next week. But until then, tomorrow morning I'll be streaming again, and we will be playing a game, and it will be for about an hour. It may even be shorter because this homebrew is pretty short. If I remember right, I have played through it once. I think it's only 10 levels. It's 10 or 15, something like that. And so it'll be fairly quick to go through that. It seemed like some of the levels are pretty tricky, though, so we may run into some problems. We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, let me bring my script up here so I don't forget anything. Thanks for joining me. Please like and subscribe, obviously. Thanks for chatting. It's good to see you shooting. One Bite Cake, if you're still listening. Thanks for joining me. Lee, I'm going to give you a shout out again. Thanks for sharing this on the Atari Jaguar fans Facebook page. I really appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for joining me. If you have any suggestions of things you would like to see me do during the programming segments, let me know. Something I have mentioned before is I want to do some tutorials for the removers library, and so I'm thinking about shifting into a series when I don't want to show what I'm working on for Crescent Memories. I may shift over to that and do a tutorial. That way you're still getting content, but I'm not spoiling the game. Basically, I'm a little concerned about doing that up front. But so yeah, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you want to see a specific game for the Jag, I can do that too. Just leave it in the chat or leave it as a comment in the video. If you want future updates, I am on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description, or just subscribe here on YouTube. I send out a notification a few minutes before the stream starts. I may start doing earlier notifications with YouTube's posting system. We'll see. I got to just get it into my workflow if I'm going to do it. So you can also follow me personally on Instagram. I'm at Thorup William, if I remember correctly. I believe there's a link in the description for that as well. I post a lot of Atari artwork, but I also have personal artwork. I haven't posted in a while. I'm building out some content for about a year's worth of posting. I'm working on building my personal brand, and so I'm kind of approaching it strategically, and that's why I'm not posting right now. I'm hoping to start posting here within the next couple months. So but again, thanks for joining me, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks. Bye.